Okay, I think we rolled in. Okay. Hi guys. I hope we're rolling now. It's looking like everything is loaded. Okay, so hi guys, it's Ani's World. How are you? I'm back. I know I was gone for a little bit. My apologies. If you keep up with me like with on social media, then you know. Okay? I don't need to over over explain anything. But today I asked you guys, should I do a video of standing in my power or should I do a video of what was the other one? Um find the joys in life. And you guys chose standing in your power. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I think that's the one that really resonates with me as of lately, especially. So I'm excited to share it, this like new information with you guys. Happy summer. I hope everyone's having an amazing summer and doing great. Standing in your power is something that takes practice, and we talk about alchemy a lot on this channel, and I think that is definitely the definition of standing in your power. You have to be able to alchemize things, and it's hard sometimes. It's scary. Your brain is supposed to keep you safe. You know what I mean? So you should always reward it if you feel fear. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to keep you safe. You're not used to going outside of your comfort. You may not be used to expressing yourself a certain way, carrying yourself a certain way, and just allowing yourself to exist in an entirely different manner than you're used to, and a more uplifting and high vibrational manner. If you've been used to minimizing yourself or clinging to what's comfortable, which is a lot of times negative, you know, um, until you really like break free from that, then your comfortability, once you can rewire your mind and your nervous system, comfortability and joy and fun starts to look a lot different for you. So yeah, this is what your brain does, though. It's going to create fear in your mind. And that's why I say you should reward your brain for that, because it means that it's working properly and it's trying to keep you safe. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand the difference of actually being in danger or something being wrong and just being in a more unfamiliar state, and that will help you stand in your power once you are not afraid of it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you're only afraid of something because you've never been there and you haven't tried it. Good morning. Hi, how are you guys? Thank you for joining. Just passing through. Let's give you numbers. Um, Okay. Yeah, yes, exactly. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hi, my name's Colin. Hi, Colin. So yeah, once you get used to your brain doing what it's supposed to do, which is like, oh my God, I don't want to speak in front of all these people, or oh my gosh, I'm afraid to start up this new business idea or invest into this. You know what I mean? Um, and that all comes with trial and error as well, And I talk about this, and I feel like it all goes in with standing in your power, because pressure makes diamonds. You know what I mean? And sometimes your dreams or your goals may be feeling like something more aligned in the stars in the sky, something that feels like, how can I touch that? Ew. Um, no. Time out. I can put y'all on online timeout. I love that for me. Okay, anyway. What was I talking about? Yeah, so sometimes your goals may feel like out of proximity to you, and that's when it's time to look at things. It's time to look at yourself in like a higher way, right? So when I think of like things like pressure makes diamonds or the rose that grew from concrete. You know what I'm saying? I love that one. Tupac knew what he was doing when he did that. Um, I think it just speaks for itself, you know, and pressure literally does make diamonds. And that is really what alchemy is all about. It's about learning how to turn your pain into power, how to turn anything into gold. And we talk about this all the time on this channel, but I guess I'm just going to slowly reiterate it for you guys since I'm still new and I know you guys are still new. This is examples of like people being homeless, getting them online. Like I still follow a lady who was homeless, um, went into the shelter with her son, um, did content creation the entire time, moved herself into her own apartment, pays her own all her own bills by herself, takes care of her son. She has a car. It's like, you know, her other son is in the army. Like she just, that was a moment of alchemization where she was in a vulnerable moment where most people would feel like defeated and feel like that's like their lowest place in life. And for her in that moment, it probably still felt that way. But that's when she turned her pain into power and she got up and she made something of it. And it was a beautiful, inspiring story. And now she's on there focusing a lot on health and family, which I think is beautiful. You know what I mean? So that is an example of alchemy. I'm gonna use myself as an example. So like recently, anyone who follows me on social media, my diagnosis of fibromyalgia, which is something that I've suffered from since I could remember, like since I was a little girl, but it's chronic pain, right? So my that's just that. If you don't know, chronic means it never stops. So and it's like everywhere, you know, it has like certain points, but it's everywhere. And I was able to like study what it is and where it comes from. And what it taught me is that my mental health and the way that I take care of my body is very important. So it just means that I'm like a flower. I'm like delicate. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with being a flower. They're pretty, you know? So that's this is I do this, you know, this is just what I do. I can't even help it. It just comes natural. But yeah. So that's how I think about it because in hindsight, you know, everybody and a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people in the long run are going to have whatever life throws at them when it comes to their self. But I think it's important for everybody to treat themselves correctly, nourish yourself correctly, and at least try your best. You know what I mean? Um, Preventing things, I think that's called like preventing, right? Trying is a form of preventing. So I like to, I don't even like the word trying because you're really not. You're doing something and you might not be getting the exact results that you want in that moment. But again, everything comes with time and consistency as we all learn. So, yeah. And that's why I was talking about, you know, pain and how you can use that to stand in your power because, you know, all of this, someone who actually learns themselves first, you know, and how to alchemize their pain, you know, and whatever their challenges may be in life, everybody's challenges are different. A person who can master how to approach their challenges, how and that just takes consistency. Again, it's not like something I feel that mm, I shouldn't say it gets easy because it does get easy. It gets easy the more consistent you are. It's like you become a master at it. But I should say it's not something that just you don't stop. The challenge is it doesn't necessarily disappear, but you learn how to make it work for you. And I think that's the most important part. I think realism is the most important part when it in terms of like standing in your power and alchemizing your pain, realistically, challenges are going to be there. That's just the realistic point. And I love that saying, like, Baby Mother has this song, and she said, I might be that, but I'm very human. When I shit, it stinks. You know what I'm saying? And that's just life. You know what I'm saying? No, like that's just us as beings, all of us. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not just talking about humans. Like when you look at dirt, when you look at trees, like when you look at nature, it's beautiful, but it gets nasty, it gets ugly. That's just life. So it's I think people, and I always try to reiterate this to people, that you can't keep looking for the greatest thing, like, because things change over time with consistency as well. So sometimes, like, we might look up to these A-list celebrities that we're like, I don't even know, but there are people who are living the exact same life as us, right? Um and in the same state, literally, some, and we don't like to listen to them. It's a pride thing, but a true teacher is a great student. And I know for a fact that I learn the most from studying people in proximity to me. And then people out of proximity to me, I can connect things and I can see things on different levels. And I have been on different levels as well. But, like, all of that just goes into, like, my wisdom, that me being able to alchemize things and me standing in my power, you know? Like, you in order to be a master of life, you're gonna have to be a master student. You're gonna have to be a master student. Um, and that is something that chokes a lot of people up, you know? That chokes a lot of people up because in life we think too much, honestly. But in life, like when we go out and we do these things, like when I say standing your power and just like putting yourself out there and beating, like going against the status quo, doing what you want to do, doing what benefits you and what's going to benefit your life, like we think too damn much. And that is a lot of times the issue that I see with people. They're thinking. And they're not thinking positive thoughts. And I feel like if you're not going to think anything positive for yourself, think about strategy. You know what I mean? I feel like self expression is very important. I love to express myself because I feel as though holding things in makes you sick. But at the same time, if I'm expressing myself, that is the strategy as well. Not everybody's self expression is the strategy, you know? Some people express their, what do you call that, challenges, weak points, but you see, like, there's no resolution to anything, right? Like if I express an insecurity to somebody, I can promise you I have already been working on or mastering that insecurity that I have brought to you. You know what I'm saying? um and that's why I can confidently speak that way, like, for example, sometimes people tell me, like, when it comes to expressing certain vulnerable points in my life, right? I feel as though, to me, life has always been like a movie. My life has been like a movie, and I would be damned if I didn't tell y'all the story. Okay, that's why people love me. They love the authenticity. That it just, they know it takes guts to have, but that goes a part of, like, my detachment when it comes to certain things. I think being detached from your pain is, like, very important. You know what I'm saying? Um, because it's not that serious in hindsight, in the grand scheme of things. It really don't be that serious. A lot of things truly do be in our heads. it be in our mind, in your mind release and what we don't understand, although they say like law of attraction is something that has not been scientifically proven. It absolutely has because like for example, each structure that you see was first a thought. You know what I'm saying? Each design, including a pillow, it just starts in the mind. You know what I'm saying? And then it transpires outside. And that's how I feel about your power, your inner power. It's gonna start in your mind and it's gonna transpire in like frequency waves. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Like, I feel like we've all seen somebody or seen something in life that made us stop and look at it, and we have no idea why. Your hair is tea. Thank you. I try, girl. I try. Okay. Trying to get like you, sister. Okay, but that was so corny. I hate saying sister. That was so corny. Okay. But yeah, like even this, I don't know, this is like such a weird thing that I'm comparing it to, but I'm looking at my cup, my mermaid cup. You see the black mermaid, y'all? Okay, but it says like part of your world. And even when I think about like Ariel, and she wanted to go on land so bad, but originally she had a tail. You know what I'm saying? Until she made a decision in her mind that she wanted to go on land and be human. Like, why did you leave the ocean for? You know what? That's a different topic. But she wanted to be on land and get her man. You know what I'm saying? And it all started in her mind. She got tired of all them fishes and bubbles and the sand and the shells. She wanted something else. What is wrong with me? I'm sorry. I'm trying to be a mermaid. I don't know what's wrong with her. But yeah, so everything starts in your mind, and you want to know the most beautiful part about it is like I've like I said, because I've been such a great student, I'm an ill ass teacher too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a master at certain things. So I remember like one day I was at like my quote unquote, I'm not even gonna say it. The slope went down. Let's just say that. And I was going through my journals for motivation because I have journals and I've been writing for a really, really long time. Um, I think I have journals from like sixth grade. Like I be writing. So I'm like looking through my recent ones in adulthood where I was manifesting everything that I have now. And I looked at my journal and it was the most beautiful, amazing thing you will ever see. It was magic. It was alchemy. It was uh quantum leaping in real time. Everything that I wrote down, I had almost to the T. Like when I tell you, I think there was like only like one thing. Like I mean, the color of the car, where I am, what I have, the way that everything in this apartment is decorated right now was in that notebook before I had it. So I know that this shit be real. You know what I'm saying? It be very real. Sometimes it takes some documentation and some accolades. That's why when people are like, "What are your accolades?" I'm like, first of all, like, do you know what you're here for? Second of all, do you know me? Get to know me. You feel me? But yeah, so it's a real thing. Standing in your power and believing things so within, so without, as above, so below. Understanding these things And even when I think of like simple things like trees, like when you think about a tree, it's like it's in the ground and it has all these roots and these stems, and there's dirt, there's bugs, there's all these things happening underneath. So within, and then the tree rises to the top, and it's like so without. You feel me? Like that's just how everything works in life. And that's what standing in your power is. Standing in your power is taking because if you can be in your mind so much and create this false hopelessness, um this false isolation, this false hate and negativity, you can go into your mind, you can go within in the dark, and you can remember all these good memories and good things that you've done in moments of celebration. And if you move with that throughout your life, you will just attract so much more. You know what I mean? It's just like after a breakup, depending on who the problem who the problem was. Sometimes it's neither, you know what I mean? Sometimes people just are not made for each other, and they come apart and they're just glowing and they look so much better separated, or that person looks so much better alone without them. You know what I'm saying? And that's alchemy. That's turning your pain into power. Um, I've seen so much moments of people doing alchemy in life, and I'm sitting here looking like this because I tip my hat to my teachers who don't even realize that they're my teachers. And I laugh. That's why I laugh, like when people get jealous or like they get hateful, because like people be teaching me things and they don't even they don't even know. like like you feeling like I'm up here, I'm not really looking down at you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking. There's a difference. That's why I say like we just attach so much different meaning, to heavy, heavy negative meaning to things, and not everything needs to be looked at negatively. It's just all in your head. But I don't want to stay up on here for too long. I think this was a beautiful introduction back, and I think I got my point across of standing in your power. Okay, this is Ani's World. I really appreciate everybody for supporting me and being here. Make sure that you go in my description, like my YouTube profile, and I have like my social media links there. Support Ani's Spa as well. Thank y'all. And remember, stand in your power, okay? It's Ani's World. We out. You in general is T God gifted. You know it. You too. Have a good one.